How's everyone doing today? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we have a very exciting topic. We're going to be talking about Cardano ADA. One thing that's really important when you look at these different technologies is accountability, and essentially Cardano is really good when it comes to accountability, when it comes to the roadmap. I would say that Cardano is essentially a cryptocurrency that's really moving forward and outdoing a lot of the competition that might essentially only survive because they are really, it's a bunch of hot air and it's a lot of hype. Really, Cardano would be the cryptocurrency that I would say is more realistic in a lot of these different areas. I mean, when you think about the fact that Cardano does provide these updates within a month framework, all these various different things, it does essentially make a big difference as far as keeping the community up to date on the various different things that are happening at the core of these technologies. And I think Cardano really does have an idea of what's going to be important, and the Cardano team really is one of the most forward thinking, I believe, in the cryptocurrency space. Just looking at these different articles, Cardano team may soon unveil another product, and I'm very much going to be looking forward to seeing the different potentials that Cardano is going to be applying itself towards. I mean, when you think about what they've already done up until this point, I think Cardano really is an interesting technology that could be competing with Ethereum in respect to the flexibility that Cardano has going for it, in the juxtaposition what you'd imagine how Ethereum is essentially already locked in with what they're going to be doing from this point forward, and the public expects them to a certain degree to continue doing as they've been doing. But Cardano essentially has that flexibility, and I think that it's pretty tuned in with what their audience really is paying attention to what's going to be happening to them further. So I'd say with these new developments that we've been seeing getting announced, a lot of this different realistic news really overcoming a lot of the hot air that a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, a lot of the other altcoins essentially survive on really making a dramatic claim and then never really living up to it. But I'd say that Cardano does have the potential to show that they actually are doing realistic work in all various different sectors. And I think as we see this paradigm shift taking place involving cryptocurrencies and the old way of doing things sort of meshing into and blending with the internet age, Cardano essentially is definitely in a very essential place as far as these different things are going. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing where Cardano is going to take this progress, and especially because it's 2018 right now. It's pretty early in the game. I'd say there's a lot of different potential as far as 2019, 2020. We could definitely see Cardano really competing with a lot of the other cryptocurrencies within that time frame. So a lot of exciting things definitely happening across the board. I'm definitely paying attention to Cardano. In my opinion, I could definitely see some really interesting things happening in the near future. So obviously I know a lot of people have heard it all before. Cryptocurrency is going to change everything. It's going to pretty much revolutionize the whole way technology, blah, 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 Internet of Things. Pretty much this meme says it all. But when it really comes down to it, I can't really stress enough the importance of blockchain in the future. And really Cardano is interesting when it comes to these variables. They don't really call it King Cardano for nothing, if you catch my drift. Blockchain, once again, the repetitive point that I want to drive home for anybody who wants to know: blockchain, the future of cryptocurrency, the future of all of this sort of technological space is essentially nothing without blockchain. And it's going to be the cryptocurrencies that are leveraging the power of blockchain moving forward. And Cardano really is a name that comes to mind when you talk about blockchain, when you talk about the future of how this sort of thing is going to work. Really the different names that are going to be popping up are over and over again that people are going to be talking about: Moon this, Moon that. Lambo this, all that, Bugatti that, all these different terms mean nothing if they're not supported by blockchain. It's the central component, and if you don't understand blockchain, start to understand, because it's essentially the first step as we move forward, into seeing this new world that's essentially right on our doorstep. So it is interesting, how these different technologies that really leverage blockchain, Cardano really being at the center of it. So it is really an interesting time to be paying attention to all these different variables. And if I could leave the viewer with one piece of educational, not your dad advice, it would be that blockchain is going to be essential really in the future of all these things. Cardano, Digibyte, Litecoin, anything with a blockchain behind it is really essentially the icing on the cryptocurrency case. Really, the bare bones minimum is having a blockchain, and it's also what's going to drive some of these technologies to the top. And the fact that Cardano is really starting from scratch, that's sort of been their methodology, their approach, taking down these higher ups, these cryptocurrencies, these Bitcoins and Ethereum, simply by doing things better, faster, and really more efficiently in the modern era, as opposed to a lot of these other technologies that have already gotten comfortable being in their position. A lot of people are speculating the possibility of Bitcoin dropping down to $500. Now, I know it doesn't seem that possible now, but I mean, think about how much of a drop we've seen before. I mean, I know it could happen. We could see a lot of different shakeups, but fundamentally it's important to look at, I mean, I'm not saying it will happen, but I'm just saying the fact that, I mean, I'm not going to make any predictions here. The point that I want to get across is there's going to be a lot of shakeups in the cryptocurrency world, and we might not see a lot of the different names that people have gotten used to might go away because they don't leverage blockchain correctly, or perhaps they're outcompeted by other blockchains that have other features which just essentially will monopolize the time and really drive the market in another situation. The free market will decide at the end of the day, but essentially that's my 2 cents. When it really comes down to it, though, Charles Hopkinson, interesting things seeing, honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with Cardano, and of course it's going to be the technologies that outperform the old paradigm. It's really the fact of the matter is that blockchain just is the cutting edge on what's possible. So whether or not it's any particular blockchain is pretty much anybody's guess, or anybody's determination, anybody's mathematical projection, whatever you want to, however you want to come to your own conclusion, whatever name it's going to be. I mean, honestly, I think it works to do your research and look at the data analytical components that really make up these different technologies. And Cardano is really an interesting one. I would definitely recommend doing some research into Cardano. Now, obviously, this video is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. But of course, remember, when it comes down to these things, it is always important to do your research, into the different technologies. And really, from a data perspective, I'd say that, analyzing Cardano really is, it really is a look into the future of what we could be expecting to see, from these different technologies, as far as Cardano has managed to really leverage smart contracts and so forth in a really dramatic way that I believe is reshaping the way that the competition has been essentially responding to this technology wave, and the way these things have been going. So I mean, I hope you guys have found this video educational, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Also, make sure that you guys follow us on Snapchat. Obviously we have the Snapchat, so if you guys want to continue the conversation on Twitter, we have a Twitter as well. So all that being said, I hope you guys have a good day and stay relevant.